But I'm just curious because I don't think many Americans have the capacity to really wrap their head around the way propaganda works in a country like Cuba. So can you give us an idea of like kind of what maybe the media is saying right now about what's going on with these protests that are taking place in the street? How do you know how the Cuban media is painting the picture of these dissidents?
Yes. So right now, what's happening is they shut off the internet, so people don't have access to the internet other than through VPNs, which
Okay.
are virtual private networks. So there are works around that some people can have to only do like WhatsApp texts and whatnot. So they shut off the internet, and on TV, what they are saying is that everything has come down and that people should stay at home, that COVID cases are going to rise, so we should all stay at home, and then and things are getting back to normal. That's what the TV is saying right now. I just saw on Instagram right before you and I started the conversation, people from Cuba were posting that's what they're seeing there. So, and that's how they have been able to control the thoughts and ideas of our entire country for so long. When I grew up, we only had two TV channels. They had the programming, everything was controlled. And in the news, they would play CNN footage, but they would kill the sound and they would say whatever the news was, they would read the news. We never had access to actual CNN. And that's how the news worked in Cuba. We only had like a 45 to an hour program that was the news at 6 p.m. And they would talk about the things that they would decide. And I remember I had a friend who was a producer at the news program, and I was able to go and see how they recorded the news like for a couple of times. And for me, it was like a big deal. You know, I was this 15-year-old kid and I get to go in and see the behind the scenes. For me, I was like just obsessed with the cameras and the sets and like that side of things. But the actual news and the things that they were reporting, it was a joke. Like it was like a group of 3 or 4 people. And again, this is the only one news program in the whole country with 11 million people. And the team was 4 people and a couple guys writing things down on paper. And then the guy would come and talk about it. And they would just play footage of things that happened. And like, and anyone who, I mean, it's really funny. Like in Cuba, all the news, we had this parody comedy videos, and it was always like, you know, we completed 2 more hospitals in this place, and we over deliver the amount of like potatoes that we had to for this harvest, and we did everything was good news. It was so funny, dude. Everything was great news in Cuba, and then outside of Cuba everything was horrible. Like I always thought that in America, like people had no jobs, people couldn't afford anything, like people couldn't buy any medicine, people couldn't have access to healthcare, people couldn't go to school. That's how I grew up, believing that that was like the reality. So I was, even when I came to America, I was like, that cannot be true. But in the back of my head, I still thought, you know, it's going to be really tough to live in America. And then I remember going to Cleveland the first week of me being in the States. A friend takes me to a middle school, and the kids were unwrapping 10 high definition cameras for their media class. And that was better equipment at a public school. That was better equipment than the equipment that we had in Cuba working in the Film Institute, and the access to things that we could have. And I just, like, I remember I started crying that day, and it was something crazy, you know, to have that happen.
You can catch brand new episodes of Indie Thinker with Reed Huberman every Monday, and weekly bonus episodes to keep you thinking throughout the week. But you have to subscribe and click the bell to be notified when new episodes drop. If you enjoy this content, make sure to like this video and share it with friends.